Hi guys, my name is Munoz, one of the co-founders of Assets for Life. I am going to share with you 3 tips today on how to become a property developer. I have been asked these questions a lot of times in the last few years, and I thought I'd give you my insight, my thoughts on whether you should rent or buy. In essence, is not a black and white scenario. A lot of people say always buy, but it depends where you live or where you are and what the area is. So I've got a second tip for you, which is about finding the value of your asset. So there are 2 ways to do that. One is based on the valuation of the houses around the area where you are, i.e. comparables, and a second is finding the rental income of the area where you are and simply calculate the asset value from that. So I'm just going to give you an example of that. So let's say you find a property that is the rent coming in is £1,000 per calendar month. Okay, so what banks do, or senior funders do is they take this and calculate the gross rental income per year. So if we multiply that 12 times, that is £12,000. Okay, and then what they do is they subtract 125% of that value. And what is this 125%, guys? That is more typically voids, maintenance, repairs, etc. Because let's face it, you're not always gonna get your property full. So they are assuming that you're gonna have a period of voids. If you do this maths, very quickly you realize that the money coming into your bank account is £9,600 a year rather than 12,000 and what they do afterwards is they divide this number by the current, as in 2nd of April 2019, the current mortgage interest rate of 5 years, fixed rate is 0.035. A little disclaimer there, guys. It's your responsibility to find this number, okay? Because that changes on a daily basis. As you know, last Friday, that was the current rate. So if you do the maths over here, that comes to about 274k. Okay. So that means that asset, based on the rental income, £1,000 per month, is worth 274k. So what happens is the money that you will get in the bank is not that, but 75% of this, and that is the money that you will end up in your bank account once you sell all the units, sell all your development. So we're looking at roughly 205k in your bank account. So the question that you need to ask yourselves as a developer is, every unit, if I can build every unit for under this or for 205k, that means that you can pay your investors back, pay all you creditors back, and keep that asset for a rental income, which is happy days. We try to, whenever I do my appraisal, my assessments, I tried to calculate this number to make sure that fits the criteria of the bank, and then I know we're in a safe place, our investors are in a safe place, just in case we don't sell. If we decide to sell, obviously we can recuperate all the money plus a little bit of net return, and then pay investors back and capitalize that asset. So good. That is the second tip for us. Now, the third tip I'm going to share with you today is about finding, your GDVs correctly. Okay, so you know that GDV, guys, stands for gross development value. So the gross development value is what your asset is going to be worth once you finish the whole development. Let's say you're doing 10 houses, then each house is worth 100. Well, it's flat. Let's say 10 flats. Each flat is worth £100,000 once you finish the development. So therefore, the gross development value is £1 million. You need to be very careful with this, because what happens is the majority of estate agents would ramp up this cost, this value, so they could get better commission. So it's your duty as a developer to find out the true gross development value of your development. Excuse the pun there, but that's the case. So what you need to do, guys, if property as anything is very, very specific, and you have to analyze every single road. So every single road is a microeconomy in my view. So you need to go and analyze where this site is located and how many properties are around the area that you can compare like for like. Okay, so what I do typically is I type into Rightmove sold comparables, the postcode, the asset class, 1 bedroom flats, 2 bedroom flats, 2 bedroom flats, and so on, and find out, if I'm building, 1 bedroom flats only, I found only 1 bedroom flats, and I find at least 10 comparables of like for like 1 bedroom flats. Sometimes I don't use the average, I use the mean, because sometimes some of them are far out, too expensive or too cheap, so I'll discount them. To give you a perfect example is, once I was doing an appraisal and I found typically the value of the flat's about 250, but there was this one flat that it was worth, it was sold for 350k, which wasn't right. So I decided to go to Rightmove, dig a little bit more into it, and I found that this flat was overlooking a lake. So therefore was not a like for like comparable, so I decided to discount it. So just going back to what I said, so what you do, find out 10 like for like flats, and divide the average. So get all the properties in a spreadsheet column with the address, the value of the properties, the number of flats, and the sold price. Get all the sum all the sold prices up, and the result of that I divide it between the number of units that I'm comparing it with. So let's say 10 units, and then I find the average gross development value. So bear in mind, guys, that sometimes that gross development value, is, if you're doing a new development, you might want to think of increasing slightly that with 5 or 10%, because so new properties, brand new properties, do have a premium, and that obviously depends on the market. Currently, due to Brexit, we might, I encourage you not to do that, because you might be at risk. We don't really know what's happening with the market, and if you do that, we might end up paying the consequences later. So for as in today, I would strongly advise you to leave your GDV with sold comparables within the area that might not be brand new properties or new build projects. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you want to know a little bit more about property development, come and join us, spend the day with us. Guys, I hope you enjoy that. Remember, like, subscribe, stay tuned. We're going to do more of this stuff for you guys, but it's important that you stay tuned. We do this on a regular basis. We also do events regularly in London and Birmingham. So come and say hello to us. All the best for now. Take care.